Being nice is supposed to be a good thing, and it is, until it isn't. Because there's a version of niceness that looks like kindness on the outside. But on the inside, it's exhaustion. It's resentment. It's saying yes when every part of you wanted to say no. It's doing things for people who would never do the same for you. And the worst part? You probably didn't even see it happening. Because nobody told you that being too nice has a dark side, and that dark side has a cost. Why do people who are genuinely kind end up caring the most? Today, we talk about what that cost actually is. You're the person people call when they need something, the one who stays late, who picks up the slack, who says it's fine, even when it isn't. You smooth things over. You put everyone else's comfort before your own, almost automatically, without thinking. And from the outside, people probably see you as generous, dependable, a good person. But here's what's happening underneath. Every time you say yes when you mean no, a small part of you disconnects from yourself. And one day you look around and realize the people you've given the most to have given back the least. And you wonder how you got here. Here's the first thing most people get wrong. They confuse people pleasing with kindness. They look the same from the outside. Kindness is freely given. It doesn't keep score. You do it because you want to. People pleasing is something else entirely. It's giving to get safety. It's being nice because you're afraid of what happens if you're not. Afraid that if you show someone your real limits, they'll leave. Psychologists call this fawning, one of the 4 trauma responses alongside fight, flight, and freeze. For a lot of people, being nice isn't a personality trait. It's a survival strategy they learned a very long time ago. That strategy made sense then. It doesn't always serve you now. It's not who you are. It's what you learned. And what you learned, you can unlearn. Same face. Completely different roots. Here's something uncomfortable but important. When you consistently say yes to everything, you're not just being accommodating. You're teaching people what they can expect from you. And people, not maliciously, not always consciously, will take what's available. If you're always available, they expect availability. If you always absorb the extra work, they stop noticing it's extra. If you always smooth over conflict, they stop worrying about creating it. You trained them, not because you're weak, because you were never taught that having limits was allowed, that your time is finite and valuable. Psychologist Dr. Henry Cloud puts it simply, you get what you tolerate. And if you've been tolerating things that drain you, the people around you learn those things are acceptable because you kept showing them they were. Here's the part that people pleasers almost never say out loud, the resentment. Because you're not just tired. You're tired and quietly angry. Angry at the people who keep taking. Angry at yourself for letting them. Angry that nobody seems to notice how much you're carrying. And then you feel guilty for the anger. Because you're supposed to be the nice one. So you push it down. And it builds. Resentment, unexamined, eventually poisons the very relationships you were trying to protect. The anger you feel isn't a character flaw. It's a signal. Your nervous system telling you something has been out of balance for a long time, and it's done waiting to be addressed. So why don't you just stop? If you know this is happening, why is it so hard to change? Because for a lot of people, being nice is wired in at a very deep level. It's not a choice you make every morning. It's a reflex. One that was probably rewarded early in life. Your nervous system learned, when I make other people happy, I am okay. When I disappoint someone, something bad might happen. And even when you're an adult, even when the threat is gone, that wiring doesn't automatically update. The body keeps the score. The old responses run even in new situations. And changing them requires more than just deciding to be different. It requires understanding why the pattern exists in the first place. The child learned this to survive. The adult can learn something new. Here's what I want you to hear. Being kind is not the problem. The problem is when kindness becomes a mask for fear. When being nice is less about caring for others, and more about managing the anxiety of what happens if you don't. Real kindness has limits. It has a self inside it. It can say no and mean it. It can disappoint someone and survive that disappointment. It can put itself first sometimes, not out of selfishness, but because you cannot pour from an empty cup. The version of niceness that runs on fear, guilt, and the need for approval. That's not kindness, and you deserve better than that. So what do you actually do? Start by getting honest with yourself about which category you're in. There's a question that helps. If I knew there would be no negative consequence, would I still do this? If the answer is no, that's not kindness. That's fear. Start small with limits. 1, know a week is enough to begin retraining, both yourself and the people around you. Notice the discomfort that comes with it, and sit with it instead of running from it. That discomfort is just the old wiring protesting. It fades. Some people will feel the shift. That's okay. Their feelings are not your emergency. You were probably taught that being nice was the safest way to move through the world. And in some seasons of your life, it was. But you're in a different season now. And the most loving thing you can do for yourself and for the people around you is to show up as all of you, limits and all. The relationships that are real will remain. If this one resonated, you'll find a lot more here that does too.